easy. What's happening? It's Distance, back with another tutorial for you. Thought I'd do a little gift for Christmas. So this one is going to be about mid-range bass. A load of people asking me to do one on mid-range bass. Obviously I'm going to be covering kind of like the angle of mid-range bass. That is the kind of stuff I would make, or you know, chest plate artists would make, or the people on a slightly darker, deeper side of the dubstep genre would make. So yeah, anyway, I know everyone uses Massive, so that's why I'm doing Massive for you all, so you can do this yourselves. So just go to New Sound. There you go. So that's kind of the basic sound. So I mean, you can follow the steps I'm going to do, but I'm going to try and do this in a way that it's more about you getting ideas of how to make sounds rather than just follow my footsteps and, you know, follow me to the absolute T or whatever, because I just think that's pointless. Basically, I think you should be experimenting, trying to come up with your own sounds. There's no point in sounding like someone else, you know. So anyway, let's try this out. So quite a nasty distorted sound there. Maybe a little bit too harsh for some people. But you kind of want sounds that have got that toppy end, because when it goes to you filtering them, you know, if you put like a low pass or high pass filter, you can really use those to advantage. Whereas if you cut them out from the beginning, you're kind of, or you pick a sound that hasn't got those high end sounds in, then you can't utilise them, and it's harder for you then to create them later with distortion or something like that. So, you know, it's good to pick a sound that has, you know, a lot of harmonics, feels, you know, a lot of the frequency range. Right, so if we move the wave position, and what I do is I'll just play the notes, and I will just tweak with one of the, you know, dials. Like that, and see what it's doing, see, you know, whereabouts, where the movements are I like the most. So I think it sounds pretty cool around about here. So what we're going to do then is modulate that. So modulation is basically it's combination, but you're doing it within the software. So go over to LFO 5, all you have to do is click the little cross there, put it where you want, or what dial you want, automated or modulated, should I say. So at the moment it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything because we haven't turned this on or up. So if you click the 5 and then hold down your mouse button and go upwards, you can now see that it's doing something. And if we go the other way, it will do it the opposite way. So anyway, so if we now go back to our LFO, I'm going to click sync, because if it's not unsynced, you know, you could change it. It's not going to lock it in time with your sequencer. So if you've got it at 140, you know, you want it to move in time with your drums and everything like that. If you do it this way, you'd have to keep playing your track, you know, and get it until it was in a position where it was in time and fitted well. So if you do sync, just cuts all that rubbish out and you're straight in. Let me just change this to 140. Right. So anyway, so that's all we've done. We've only added that. It already sounds pretty decent, you know. But you can change the wave shape you're using. So this is kind of like it opening up. If you do it this way, you know, be this dial kind of going downwards and up. So and also you've got the intensity. This is a really good thing to always muck around with in Massive. Again, you can see I'm just tweaking with the dials, trying to figure out what kind of sound I'm after. So that's quite a nice dark kind of, you know, I don't want to say wobble, but you know what I'm saying. Just kind of like a sub bass, but with a nice little movement on it. So then what you just saw me do there, went to envelope 1. If we click on that, you can see the shape, how it's all set up. Again, I just clicked on the cross on the dial that I want to modulate. So what I want to do is have this kind of moving up and down, so it kind of gives it like that kind of thing. So we've already got a movement from this one, but this is just going to change it a little bit more. And by obviously playing around with the attack time level, whatever, it's going to affect how this is being modulated. So I quite like that. But but this is just the starting point really. I mean, we've only used one oscillator. And we're only we're only modulating the wave position and the intensity. Now you can add filters. You could add another one of the same thing or a different waveform. I'll put in the same thing again. As you can see, it sounds pretty nasty on top. So I'm going to put a similar modulation on these. We'll put you on now. Move that down to about here. So you can hear it like this. That's with a different one, but I've just moved the intensity. I've got it going the other way. So this one is being tweaked downwards, and this one's being tweaked upwards. So you've got kind of like a bit of a nasty little growl at the end of it now. But also, you can, if you slightly detune it, just make it sound that little bit more bigger. But you can go on to another oscillator if you wanted. And again, all I'm doing, literally, is just trying things out. This isn't, I haven't rehearsed this. Do you know what I mean? And thought, right, well, now we're going to do this. Load that waveform. This is just to show you how you can just get in there, try anything together, and it's the best way. It's not worth just following me step by step, because I'm only going to do, say, one tutorial on mid-range bass, and what you're going to do, use that bass line forever. It's pointless. If I just show you how to go through things, create your own, that's way more valuable to you, I think. Right, so as you can hear, we've got quite a interesting sound. Again, I'm going to pitch this one up a little bit. I mean, if you wanted to, you could, put it up an octave higher or lower. So, I mean, if we put this an octave lower, you get the idea. Or we could do it an octave higher if you wanted. So, anyway, so I'm going to just detune it a little bit. Put it down to where it was. Hang on, going the wrong way. Too fiddly for me. Actually, I'm going to tune this one upwards slightly. From here, put in a filter, and again, just try things out. All of these filters have got different characteristics. I mean, low pass one, obviously, you're cutting out all the high end of frequencies of the sound, so you can't hear anything now. If we turn it up, you're just getting the bottom end. And in my other tutorial about sub bass and about having sounds that have the higher harmonics to make a decent sub, I mean, you could do what I've just done now, duplicate this channel, so you could just, duplicate, bang, and then you've got your sub track. So you could use exactly the same sound, but come over here, put the cutoff down, so you've got a sub from the same sound as your as your mid-range, so they're kind of in keeping together and will work really well together. Again, you know, just mucking around, seeing what I think works well. And then you can, again, apply an envelope, LFO, whatever you want. Get that moving. That's my phone going off. So if we do this. Yeah, it's quite nice, quite like that. And also, you know, if you are creating any frequencies that you're not really that into, you then, you know, can go to EQ some of those out. And if you missed what I actually did there, sorry, I didn't really talk you through it, but yeah, that was envelope 2, just put on, you know, and I've turned it up and not down. And also what I do, you know, or what some people do is you could record like a whole, you know, say 8 bars or so of this sound, so just the key down, let it play out, bounce it, and then cut bits out of that, out of the audio that you want to use, and then, you know, you're making your own bass line just out parts of the sound you've made within a synthesizer, and then obviously from there you can have distortion, filters, all sorts. So, you know, you can hear that's got, you know, quite a lot of movement by itself. But if we come over here to the effects, you know, you can add effects to it. I mean, the good thing about Massive is the dimensions expander, just makes it sound really wide and nice. Hopefully that picks up on the recording. Do you know what I mean? It just sounds like a big wide bass now, which is kind of what you want. I tend not to turn the size up too much, because then it starts having more of like a flanger effect, and I don't really want that. I mean, from here you can do anything, add distortion. So there you go, pretty simple. We haven't particularly done a lot, but you've got quite an effective sound there. I mean, what I do as well, once I've got it to a point and I'm happy with it, you know, you just go and save your preset, and then that's it. Then you've got, you know, a preset you've made yourself. But then once I've saved this, I then tweak even further. Like, I'll go here and I'll try different sounds until it's doing something different that I like, you know. So you get the idea, you know, never, you know, what I keep banging on about, and you're pretty sick of it, but don't just stick to what I'm saying. You know, once I've showed you how to do this, and, you know, you're kind of happy, and you know, kind of know what you're doing, go back, you know, change the wave shapes, change how these are being modulated, and that's it. You know, as long as you keep experimenting, trying new, then it's endless what you can do, and that's, you know, that's the kind of the biggest gift I can give to you all, I suppose. And I'll just try and so, you know, from here, obviously you can EQ it. Let's have a little look. Here we go. Yes, now we've got the EQ. So with your mid-range bass, you don't really, I mean, you're only going to tell once you've got your sub playing whereabouts you want to cut out the lower, you know, the real lower frequencies. You don't really want any sub bass in it. There's some sounds around here I'm not really liking. So, I'm going to make that a little bit sharper. That's it. And also it's a bit muddy. So there you go. EQ can, you know, helps everything really. We've kind of shaped it to sound differently again. But there's just so many things you can do. I mean, from this point you can add distortion. Anything really. It's just, you know, and it's the only way you get things. There you go. Anyway, so I think this is a pretty good introduction for you all into mid-range bass. Like I say, just keep experimenting, trying different things out. Always save your presets, like always save them, because like then you're gonna have like a huge bank of all your sound. You can go back to them, tweak them, and just try, you know, different alterations all the time. And also you can bounce, you know, like I said, little sequences of them down, put them into your project as audio, affect them separately, cut little bits out you like. You know, it's endless really. I think it's all about not limiting yourself. So yeah, I hope this has helped. I'll try and do another tutorial in 2012.